Parker Fox, main man, is in Milan, and he joins us now. Parker, it's 9 to noon. What's going on, my brother?
Ciao Bella. From Milan, man. How we doing?
Ciao Bella, Vini Vidi Vici. You were there Saturday for Taylor's first Olympic goal. Scored it against Finland. It was the second in the game. And the banker and I, Tim Siegley, the banker and I, were texting back and forth through the entire game with excitement for your fiance and what was transpiring in front of us. Man, that had to be great.
Oh, it was one of the most cool experiences I've ever felt. You play a sports career for yourself for a while, and I think, you get so centered on your own self, and then you get to, do something like this. And not a lot of people get to do it, but to watch Taylor, my fiance, score a goal in the Olympics was one of the most proud moments I've ever experienced. It was so great to be there too. I mentioned to you, I was supposed to leave Sunday, so I was going to miss the Saturday game. Something told me I needed to get out there a day earlier. I did. I got out there Friday, got to the game Saturday, and it was sure worth it.
Well, you perhaps off that, and this is with all due respect, in the feelings get hurt easily covenant, you perhaps left Friday because off that Michigan State upset of number 10 in the country, maybe you knew that they were going to, that your alma mater was going to lose as a big favorite to Maryland, which is terrible, so you got away from that.
Yeah, that might have been, huh? Welcome to the Big Ten. I tell people so often, if you're not ready to play, you can lose to anybody or you can beat anybody. It was an awesome effort from the Gophers. They, I tweeted about it. I thought they were better for 90% of that game. Now Michigan State came back a little bit in the last 4 minutes there. Cohen Carr had a couple big dunks, but man, they were so competitive. Their attention to detail. I could go on and on about the X's and O's aspect, but at the end of the day, they played hard to that Michigan State team. And next thing you know, you're playing Maryland back home and you lose that one. So it's the life within the Big Ten, PA.
What's the weather like in Milan, Italy?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's about 50 degrees out every single day. Not sure what that is in Celsius. Try to stay away from that. We get a little bit of rain around here, but it's beautiful inside the rink. The rink is absolutely beautiful as well. The ice is pretty good from reports from the girls, and they're fired up to get after the Swiss team tonight.
So you are firmly ensconced in the Celsius and kilometer meat grinder, aren't you?
I'm in it, man. I have, it's so funny. It's one of those things where you want to feel a part of the culture. So everywhere you're going, you're saying, ciao bella, all this little, Italian lingo. And then they start talking to you Italian and it's like, no, let's try to get some English going here. I have no idea what you're saying to me. But yeah, we're learning as we go. We're here for 2 weeks. So we're trying to take notes.
Have you had any good meatballs? Have you had like the best meatballs dish you've ever had?
First night I had spaghetti and meatballs, and it was absolutely excellent. It was perfect. It was kind of off the menu. They had like a meatball appetizer, and then they had like a spaghetti entree. And I told the guy, I was like, "Can we combine these?" And sure enough, 10 minutes later, I had fresh pasta and meatballs, and yeah, outstanding.
So if it was off the menu, then my man's trying to work his way into a couple of comps for a Team USA women's hockey game, isn't he?
That's exactly right. It's funny. Everywhere you go around here, if you're wearing anything USA, they either want to trade, pin trade, with pins, or they want to try to get tickets to the games. A lot of these tickets are very expensive, or for tomorrow's game versus Canada, it's completely sold out. So it's a hard ticket to come by. And then the USA gear, it's pretty coveted around here.
Do you expect a more tightly contested game today at 1:40 Central against Switzerland? And for those who haven't followed it, Taylor Heisey's squad, Hillary Knight's squad, Team USA Women, beat Czechia 5-0. Then they beat Finland 5-1. Now they got Switzerland today at 1:40. Do you think it's going to be more tightly contested?
I think hockey is one of those interesting games where a couple of different puck bounces can go different ways and result in different things. But I think if you look at it on paper, U.S. should take care of business. The Canadians beat them 2 nights ago, 4-0, Swiss that is, and a lot of people love to compare the Canadians and the U.S. team. So on paper, it should be another one of those 4-5-0, 4-5-1 type of wins. But hey, it's the Olympics, it's the hockey game. You got to come, you got to show out, you got to play to the best of your ability. And I know the ladies are ready. It's one of those weird games because you play Canada tomorrow, and that's your rival. And I think so many people are focused on that sold-out game, but there's still the game in front of you tonight. So I know they got to take care of this one here tonight.
Well, I mean, you know more about it than me, ma'am. Saturday, those Finns could have disguised Mikko Rantanen and Sebastian Aho, and they still wouldn't have they still wouldn't have won the game. I mean, it was an absolute massacre.
Yeah, the ladies they're on it right now, and you can tell with just the way they're keeping the puck in the zone, controlling possession, getting it in deep, all the little hockey terms, right, that you and me love so dearly. But they're on it, and their goalkeeping has been outstanding. They have 2 best goalies in the PWHL, in my opinion, and Aaron Frankel and Gwen Phillips, and they play for Boston and Ottawa respectively, and they're absolutely excellent. So when you get the good backside goalkeeping, and then you got the forward talent up front, it's going to be hard to beat the U.S. women's national team.
Do you have a to-do list? I mean, a topic is supporting Taylor, supporting the Americans, watching them hopefully grab gold. That's all good, and you're on it. But do you have other things that you're going to try to do over the 2 weeks you're here? I mean, Milan's a pretty unbelievable freaking city, so maybe you catch an AC Milan match, or you go see the sights. What do you got written down on the pen and pad right now?
Well, you know what, Nordo? You guys all know I love my hockey, but basketball is my roots, and I got some pretty good connections over here. My former teammate Peyton Willis plays about an hour east of Milan, so the goal is to catch one of his games. And then for any Timberwolves that are listening, about 3 years ago we had a player by the name Leandro Bolmero. He was the 23rd pick in the, I think, 2002 draft to the New York Knicks, spent a season in Minnesota. He was a part of the Utah. He is now playing for a EuroLeague team here in Milan, Olimpio Milan. So we actually got together last night, and I'm going to his game on Friday night versus Dubai. And Dubai features Nate Mason, former Gopher, and McKinley Wright, who was in my grade, played at Colorado. He was Minnesota Mr. Basketball, went on to play a little stint with the Timberwolves as well. So I'm getting my basketball in alongside with my hockey over here.
Well, you better bring dark shades, because if you're sitting courtside, you'll be like the Jack Nicholson at those games. You know what I mean?
Totally. Hey, man, I hope they look at me and say they need a big man and they sign me up, and I stay over here for a while.
So wait, if you, I don't know if you rented a car and you're driving to these places, well, now you have to deal with Celsius, kilometers, wrong side road driving, steering wheel on passenger side.
It's a mess. The roads are a mess down here, but they do have one kind of cool thing. You have to have an electric car if you want to drive in the city center. So they don't allow gas cars in the city center. I don't know the rule on that, but all the cars along this inside the city are electric. So I think that slows down the traffic a little bit as well.
Do you think you could play in Eurobasket or in one of those leagues overseas, Parker?
I think if you took me back 8 months ago, I haven't touched the ball in a while here, Nordo. Yeah. I haven't really seen a whole lot of weight room action either. But if you would have taken me back, especially pre-knee injuries, post-knee injuries, maybe not as much. Pre-injuries for sure, but I think I could have gave a good run at it. The center position, the forward positions are kind of covenanted out here. It's all about, strength and size, and it's a very physical game. A lot of the American imports tend to be guards and wings. We know so many great guards like Carson Edwards and Kendrick Nunn and some of these guys that are now playing in the EuroLeague that played at such high college levels. There's not as many American bigs over here. One that is was Wisconsin and Lakeville North native Nathan Reavers. He plays in the EuroLeague over here, and we had a lot of really good battles back in the day, as well as Dan Oturu, who was a Gopher as well. He's playing in the EuroLeague too. Because
I just picture you at your height, like you're just walking around, you're attending these games. The average Italian would be like, I think that guy plays for Olympia. Have you had to sign any autographs since you touched down?
You know what's funny is I was waiting outside of Athletes Village for, this is hilarious, you guys are going to love this. I waited outside of Athletes Village for Taylor this morning. We were going to go on a walk after her practice. And I'm waiting there, and I got the USA hat on, and some guy comes up to me in Italian. He goes, "You player? You player?" I said, yeah, I'm a player. He goes, "What sport?" I go, "Hockey." He goes, "What's your name?" I go, "Matt Boldy," and I walked away.
Brilliant. Okay, now wait. The worm has turned on your collegiate career, and here's what I mean. When you would rub elbows with Oliver Moore, Max Brosmer, people like that in the exclusive athletes cafeteria on the campus of the University of Minnesota, students weren't allowed in. But now the worm has turned. They won't let you in Athletes Village.
I always love that one.
No.
So you got to sit outside.
Exactly right,
sit outside and wait for the sloppy Joe.
That's exactly right. That's too good. That's coming full circle right there. It's pretty serious around there. It's just so cool to see all the athletes. I went to go on a walk with Taylor, and I walked by the figure skating team this morning, and they had their gold medals on around their neck. They won a gold medal last night. So just so cool to see the human aspect of these people enjoying the city, but also competing at the highest level. And then you got all the fans, trying to trade pins with the athletes. It's a pretty special thing with all the branding and the endorsements around here in Milan.
All right, so Pete Fox, 3.5-ish hours from now, your fiance Taylor Heisey and the red, white, and blue take on Switzerland, and of course you'll be at the game. So we obviously have a time difference here. Parker Fox is in Milan. What do you do after the game about 11 p.m. or so? They won't let you in the Super Special Athletes Village. So do you find a hot Italian club and bounce to hot in here with some Euros?
I don't know what the Monday night schedule is going to look like in Milan, but we got a super fun group of parents and family and support staff. And the really unique thing about these experiences is families are over here for 2 weeks, so you start to bond really well. We have a group chat with all the parents and significant others and so on and so forth. And we do a really good job of making sure we get together before and after games, whether that's for a beer or for some pizza and pasta. And everybody gets along really well, and for one common goal of cheering on the United States.
What do you guys text about?
Oh, you know what? It's mostly about tickets. It's mostly, there's always some, either translation issue, some language barrier issue with the tickets, or somebody will get fired up in the group chat and get the group going about how excited they are for the game. So right now, currently, Hillary Knight's mom is putting a bunch of red and blue hearts in the chat, and she's firing the whole group up for this game here tonight against Switzerland.
Awesome. And by the way, Hillary Knight, all right? Who knew? I mean, I know who Hillary Knight is. Guess I hadn't, ever since you and I have become closer friends. Yeah, likewise with Taylor. I'm Taylor, I'm Zumwinkle, I'm Abby Murphy, and then after that, it requires some deep diving. So the banker and I are watching Saturday's game. Hillary Knight, we know the name. Didn't know she was 36 years old. Didn't know this was her fifth Olympic Games playing hockey. She's won 1 gold and 3 silvers. I mean, she's 36. She's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, she's still one of the best players in the world. She's one of those athletes that she soaks up the big moment. Like, she always wants to have the big moment. She always wants to have the puck on her stick. She captains the team. She's been wearing the C for a bunch of years now, and I think she's just the true definition of a competitor. She scored her 15th goal at the Olympics last 2 nights ago, which ties the record for most ever goals scored by a woman in the Olympics. So if she gets another one either tonight or throughout the rest of this Olympics, she's going to be the record holder for most goals, and who knows if that thing ever gets touched. So what an athlete! Just a great human as well. It's so fun to spend time around her. And then another cool story on that: her girlfriend Brittany Bowe is in her 4th Olympics speed skating. So they're here together, they got to be part of the opening ceremonies together. They got to do all these photo shoots. So it's a true love story here in Milan.
Yep. How's Zumwinkle?
Zumwinkle's great. Oh, it's you would love her parents as well, man. They are such a great time. We've gotten to know them really well over the years, and we love to celebrate with them. And she's looked great, been playing hard. She's her and Taylor are roommates in the village, so every day I'll get some sort of update about. They share the village with the men there too, so they have a training room. So last night, Taylor and Grace said they went in to get a little treatment, and sure enough, there's Brady and Matthew Tkachuk wanting a pair of Normatecs, and just chatting it up with them. They saw Jack Hughes this morning. They said Brock Faber's across the hall. So just the stories that they tell from being with the men and the women there in the Olympic Village is unbelievable.
I mean. Taylor, Zumwinkle, the rest of them, I mean, they're as good as it gets in the world. So with respect, when they're around Matthew and/or Brady Tkachuk, or you got Jack and/or Quinn Hughes, I mean, you got the best of the best ever to best. And, it's Taylor, Zumwinkle, Abby Murphy, Hillary Knight to a certain extent. They, in their formative years, they probably grew up watching these players play. And here's the question. I mean, does Taylor ever get starstruck around big-time NHL players?
I actually do. I think she does a little bit. She was a big Jake Gensel fan growing up. Jake Gensel being a Minnesota, player, and I think he's with the Penguins now. And he's a player that she always loved watching growing up. And I remember when he followed her on Instagram, she was like, "Oh, this is such a cool deal, Jake Gensel following on Instagram." And then you come to the Olympics. And it's everything's overwhelming, right? So I remember her texting me after the first game, just saying I wasn't great in the first period. I think I just the moment was so big, and I think it was good for her to get her legs underneath her and get a couple games under their belt. But it's even more upgraded now too as well, because the men just got here to the village. They weren't there for the first week that the women were there. So all these guys have moved in, and you're just walking down the hallway, rubbing elbows with Connor Hellebuck or whoever it may be. And I think it's just a pretty special thing that, they're all on this really level and even playing field. And at the end of the day, everybody's just supporting each other from their same countries. And the men are supporting the women are supporting the men, and with the other, sports as well. It's all that USA energy.
Former 9 to Noon guest, Abby Murphy, with the Golden Gopher hockey team. Abby Murphy is in beast mode every minute of every game. I mean, just what a wonderful player, right?
Oh, she is. Yeah, I mean, she's one of my favorites. What's actually funny? She was texting me about helping her with homework on this trip because she's still in school. PA, you got a 37-year-old Hillary Knight, and you got a college student, Abby Murphy, trying to do homework in the Olympic Village. But she's phenomenal. Taylor is actually centering Abby Murphy and her Frost teammate Britta Curl. So you talk about a line that has a lot of speed, a lot of talent, and a lot of physicality. And Abby Murphy, if the puck's in deep, she's going to come headhunting, and she's one of my favorite players to watch just because of her, the mesh between talent but also love for the game and intensity. And she set up Taylor with the assist for her first ever Olympic goal, and she was the first one over there to congratulate her. So I think it speaks a lot about her, not only as a player but as a person. And I know Taylor's loving playing with her.
Mouse reminds me and us, Jake Gensel is on Tampa Bay. Jake Gensel, Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Just a few to close here. Parker Fox is in Milan. And his fiance, Taylor Heisey, plays at 1:40 Central today with the Team USA women's hockey team. They take on the Swiss. And USA's 2-0, having outscored Czechia and Finland 10-1. Now, rumor has it they miss you at First Resource Bank. Okay, so hopefully you're handling the business part of this trip quite well.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I miss those guys over there too. It's a great environment over there, and it was sad to leave for a couple weeks. But as you know, PA, once in a lifetime experience, hard to miss it. But I'm going to be excited to get back home to those guys when the time comes.
What do the ladies do between games?
Yeah, they have a lot of time off. It's one of those deals where you're playing 8 p.m. games, every other day. Now they play Canada tomorrow, so that's a back-to-back. But there's a lot of off time, which means a lot of recovery. The girls are in the training room a whole lot, a lot of film study. I think it's important at this level when you're playing some familiar faces. A lot of these girls from other countries play in the PWHL as well. But you got girls that you haven't seen their games before, and you maybe have a new goalie that you've never played against. So you're trying to figure out what's her weak spot, or, what's her offhand, or whatever it may be. So I think there's a lot of film study that comes with it. But for Taylor, she's told me she's just loved to, enjoy meeting new people, going to the cafeteria and talking with other athletes. And, it's a unique Olympics with 4 different locations. But they have the speed skating, athletes, the figure skating athletes, and the hockey athletes here in Milan. So she's got to meet a lot of people. She got to run into Jake Paul's girlfriend, Yuta, who is probably the best long-distance speed skater in the world. So just meeting these top-tier athletes is one of the coolest things, and it's great for me that I get to hear all these stories and live through it. It makes me feel like I'm kind of there.
Are you attending the Team USA men's games, and have you started a group chat with Mr. and Mrs. Hughes and or Kachuk?
It's funny. Taylor told me a story this morning. She said that Ellen Hughes, who's Quinn and Jack's mom, was looking for Quinn today, and she said, "Where's my little Quinny?" And Quinn goes, "Mom, stop!" She just told me it was so funny to hear that. But yes, I'm excited to go to some men's games. They actually start up their first game on the 12th. So they're a couple days away from getting started here, and that game versus Canada is going to be as fun as of a game as you can ever watch. I remember watching that Four Nations face off and seeing the intensity and them dropping the gloves right there at the start of the game. I hope we get some fights. I hope we get some big hits, and I hope USA comes out on top.
Lastly, back to your flight on Friday. How long was the flight? 7.5, 8, 8.5?
8.5 to Paris, and then got off in Paris, and I think we did about an hour and a half maybe from Paris to Milan. So I think it was 10 hours in total.
Okay. Anybody recline on your 6A frame?
Oh man, best thing of the day is when I walked on that plane and I saw a 4-year-old girl in the seat in front of me, and I said, she does not need to recline at all. It'll be perfect. She needs no room. But sure as that guy reclined my seat, PA.
Yeah, the 4-year-old in front of you, it's like, go ahead and cry as much as you want. Eventually you'll fall asleep. Go ahead and say, swiper, no swiping, as much as you want. That'll be fine. Just don't recline on these knees. Know what I mean?
That's exactly right. And then to make it even better, there was no one sitting to the seat to the right of me. So I got to sprawl the legs out a little bit and enjoy my trip. I think I took about one little 20-minute nap, but that was about all that there was for rest as I kind of just made my way with some podcasts, some music, and some TV shows.
Well, tell Taylor and Zumwinkle 9 to noon is watching every minute of every game, pulling for them. Love you very much, buddy. Thanks for the time, and we'll be calling you multiple times this week.
Yeah, love you guys. Talk soon. Go USA.
Yep, go USA. That's Parker Fox, Pete Fox. 9 to noon on the Power Trip in Milan.
Having a blast over there.
And his fiance Taylor plays at 1:40 today. I believe it's on USA Network to watch the Team USA women's team undefeated, and they plan to stay that way today against Switzerland. Second half of the radio show is around the corner. Paul Allen, Nordo by my side. This is 9 to noon.
Fan wants to give you a shot to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Enter the keyword money at KFAN.com now for your chance to win. That's keyword money. Enter it at KFAN.com.
Here we are, adjacent to Minneapolis, erotic city, copyright Prince Rogers Nelson. And, it's great being here. But that song was Funkin' for Jamaica by Tom Brown, Jamaica. Got 2 of my friends who have texted me within the last 15 minutes. One had to get up early in Maui to listen to 9 to noon. Cool, so he's in Maui. Lon, the full-time package handler, Lonnie Anderson, well, he's in Munich with his family, telling me how he watched the Super Bowl in a Munich movie theater. Got done at like 5 a.m. Germany time, but he's in Munich.
Yeah. Parker's
in Milan.
All of that.
Funkin' for Jamaica.
Have you ever been to Munich?
No. I've been to Ireland and Great Britain, and that's about it.
No, those are nice couple of stops. Munich's my favorite city.
Seattle and New England Super Bowl teams. 9 to noon is learned. Seattle, the champs. To some, New England deemed the champs and chumps, but New England ain't chumps. They just ran into A head coach who is 7-0 in his career against quarterbacks 24 years of age or younger or in their first 2 years. Mike McDonald. The second time I brought it up today. Why? Because it's 7-0. It's not like a 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. 4-0, you start to get some equitable context. No, it's 7-0. He beats them all every single time, and he makes them look bad almost every single time. Drake May was the newest casualty. Now, when it comes to the champs and what we call champ change, loose change that may fall out of their pockets and get lost in free agency. Champ change. Loose change that may fall out of their pockets and get lost in free agency.
I always...
Seattle's unrestricted free agents of note. Of note. Okay, there are more, but these are of note. Rashid Shaheed, Boye Mafe, Kenneth Walker III, Super Bowl MVP, though.
I always love that one.
Wrong one. Super Bowl MVP is unrestricted. Josh Jobe, safety Kobe Bryant, and cornerback Reek Woolen. Got a little rolling ball of butcher knives to him with a side dish of wild card unpredictability. But his arms go from Munich to Maine. Reek Woolen. New England's unrestricted free agents of note. Tight end Austin Hooper. Wait, I said of note. All right. KFAN Chason, formerly with LSU.
That's of note.
Kairos Tonga. It's of note because he used to play for the Minnesota Vikings, and he actually played in the Super Bowl. Former Minnesota Viking offensive lineman Vidarian Lowe. I think he spent 3 here, 4 with the New England Patriots. Yeah, I said of note. But it is of note when they played for us, left the covenant, and found success. See Sam Darnold. So Seattle's unrestricted free agents of note, Rashid Shaheed, Boye Mafe, Kenneth Walker III, Josh Jobe, Kobe Bryant, Reek Woolen. New England, Austin Hooper, KFAN Chason, Kairos Tonga, Vidarian Lowe. Anybody want any of those players via unrestricted free agency to join the purple and gold covenant? What y'all thinking about that?
Well, I mean, look at some of those names, though. I'm going to start with Seattle. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm being honest, I got to dig in more to KFAN Chason, how he was used with the Patriots.
Yep.
There's an element there of just kind of Vrabel's defense getting the most out of people. The way that they put a bunch of new faces together over the last couple of years and got their way to the Super Bowl is remarkable despite the L.
Yep.
But looking on the Seahawks side, man.
I really like something you said earlier in the show, and I wish I had crafted it for the open. It's with all Kenneth Walker III, soon to be unrestricted, and he's going to get a massive payday.
Yeah.
Milton Williams, the former Eagle who won the Super Bowl last year, prized free agent acquisition by the Patriots.
It was.
And he was worth every penny every step of the way.
Yes.
So why run into him? Let's make sure this Christian Gonzalez, he's a sticky, wonderful long-arm corner. Can he tackle? Carlton Davis, he's had a wonderful year. Free agent, first year with New England. Can he tackle? So let's make sure these high-end coverage corners can tackle by putting Kenneth Walker III and a tight end out there in front of him. Make sure these guys are willing tacklers.
Is that just a stubborn commitment if you're Clint Kubiak to the run? Because at the times, it was just you were automatically setting Sam Darnold up for 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10.
A lot of those.
We saw that. Yeah. And despite the fact, and this isn't about ripping Sam. As a matter of fact, look at what Sam did over the final 4 games of the season. Mm-hmm. He stopped turning the ball over, and the team's hoisting the Lombardi. Yeah. And just the decision-making and the way that they protected him, 27 sacks versus 50-some.
No doubt.
My point is you were putting them in bad spots last night, so the box score, 50% completions, had to throw it 38 times. Probably don't like that.
Yeah.
And 10 or 11 targets. There was a lack of efficiency in the passing game. There we go. Lack of efficiency in the passing game because Kenneth Walker would get 2 yards in a cloud of dust. But then it only took Barner to get the right guy. It would take one of the wide receivers to chip the right guy. Gonzalez does not make the elite tackle, and you're around the corner. it almost felt like in some ways they were letting Milton get free. That they were like, okay, yeah, Milton, you can come on up.
Yeah.
We're pushing this thing opposite you. There was just a lot of really, really smart ways that Kubiak implemented that run game.
And stuck with it. And that's the key.
Wouldn't stop.
It just kept, it was a thing, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
And then, like when Holani was in the game, the backup, the replacement for Zach Charbonnet, I mean, I don't know how many carries he had. He couldn't have had many more than 2, because whenever he was in, unless something got, I stopped watching relatively late, unless he got something super late, when he was in, they threw every time. His pass protection in the NFC title game, yeah, it was abysmal. Well, they had 2 weeks to work on it.
Yeah.
He knew, now, he didn't blow him up like Walter Payton or Emmitt Smith, but he got in the way enough to pave the way for a pass.
Yeah.
So they used Holani different ways. I believe that's his last name.
Yeah, he had 2 carries in the game. You're dead on.
Yeah.
I think those were both very late in the contest.
And he played very much, and he played a lot.
Yeah.
So there was a common thread to our conversation last week via Super Bowl stories. Brought it up a lot.
Well, let
me share the common thread.
Yeah.
And it went to bearing its fruit, in my estimation, last night. It is age old. If you have the right kind of tight ends and you can run the football, you're going to be tough to beat. And even though Seattle may not go 3 deep the way the Rams do, and that's the prototypical example of what I'm talking about, Barner is better than all 3 of the tight ends McVay has. So you start with the high ender. But the way they used Eric Salbert, the way they used their beefy, their tight ends, stayed true to the run, stayed consistent with it. Well, eventually, it's like if you do that, then in fourth quarters of December games, minds and bodies are going to get tired. Okay? And well, now we're in a February game. And with some extra time off, getting bodies tired is difficult even with a concerted powerhouse running game approach. But that doesn't mean minds can't go to waning. And that's what happened. Is they ran it so effectively outside of the hash marks and between the numbers, then outside the numbers, that they got Patriots to freak out mentally, start going out of body with what they thought was coming. And that's why Kenneth Walker, in essence, for 5 of his final 7 carries, when he got the ball, he didn't take off.
No, he didn't.
And one of them, that was ballyhooed, he stopped and just like stood there and waited. Then he took off.
Yeah, it's like he had a snack. And he's like, all right, time to go, I guess.
Well, because he knew where the hole was supposed to be, but he also knew somebody for New England's going to go out of body here and try to get a TFL because they're desperate. So I'm going to wait for that rube to overcommit, and I'm going to wait for the right hole, and I'm going to get 8. And bodies and minds are going to get beaten down. That's what happened. Tight ends and running backs. Age old. I mean, we're talking all the way back to Paul Hornung, Bear Bryant, and Newt Rockne. Tight ends and consistency with a running game, and the right 2 running backs or 1 in certain cases. It's just age old. It always is effective.
No, I think you're right. But you have me thinking with this list. I'm going beyond. I mean, I would like a running back like Kenneth Walker on my team. However, I'd like to. We got to use Kenneth Walker the way that he clearly found his success out west. Boye Mafe, does he fit in a system like this? Like the way that I look at this, I'm just thinking how many John Schneider has built as general manager of the Seahawks. 2 different generations of Super Bowl winning teams. The Legion of Boom, I mean, very good defense, of course, but built maybe a little bit differently. And then now we have different names, different incarnation, similar success. They're both hoisting trophies. Is John Schneider a guy that walks away from a Kenneth Walker? Like that just kind of, when you were putting this together, I was kind of thinking about it. Tariq Woolen. Well, I got Devin Witherspoon. I got this. I got that. This is working really well for me. Tariq Woolen, I can go get a 3rd-round corner as a backup on a rookie deal. And I can go, he's probably looking at other people's rosters. He's got like $60 million in cap space. That's the thing. These guys ain't freaking going away.
Jeez.
They have plenty of cash to spend. And so he's like, yeah, I appreciate Josh Jobe. I appreciate Josh Jobe. A couple of moments last night, Jobe actually came up huge for that secondary.
Yep.
Yeah, I could actually go find this. Again, like, can Schneider walk away. I mean, I assume you got Charbonnet on an ACL, so you're going to let a lot ride in the draft if you're going to replace a back like what Kenneth Walker's given you when he's healthy. So it just, again, hypothetical. But if anybody's willing to, we're just going to go back into the draft. No, I got this extra money. I'm going to go here. Like, if anybody's willing to walk away despite the good times, John Schneider's kind of proved that time in and time out over his time there.
He ain't tripping.
I know. I don't think he's going to go, whether even if it was a hometown discount, I don't think he's going to stretch too far over the table to bring anybody back. Like, we got the coach, we got the QB, we got the defensive front and core. We're going to find our way there regardless.
I like that talker moving forward because Mike McDonald became the first defensive play calling coach to win a Super Bowl. All right. Not the first defensive minded coach to win a Super Bowl, but Belichick didn't call his plays. Pete Carroll didn't call his plays.
Yeah.
McDonald calls the plays. So he's the first defensive play calling coach to win a Super Bowl. That shows you how infrequent things like that are.
What?
So, yeah, that's true. So with Mike McDonald has a D, E-I-E-I-O, and on that D has a bunch of dogs, E-I-E-I-O. With that, compared to like here, okay, defense was the identity of this football team, was one of the better defenses in the NFL in Minnesota. Is Flores what he pulled out of certain players, okay, in certain types of games? Does McDonald do the same thing? Or does he just have the best talent? Because Byron Murphy's supposed to be good, and he is.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence, high end, and he is. Ernest Jones the fourth. Okay, now there's a talker, what they're getting out of him because the Rams let him go.
Yep.
So let's keep that in the metaphorical back pocket moving forward. News du Nord is
Truncated News du Nord, which is always brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. Poker, blackjack, and table games all year round. Live racing about to lift off again just a couple months from now. So looking forward to that. CanterburyPark.com for more details. We'll start with the Wolves. They get beat by nearly 20 yesterday. LA Clippers in town. A little matinee mid-afternoon trying to avoid that Super Bowl time slot. They did so, and the Wolves looked like they were trying to avoid Kawhi Leonard for most of that as he lifted off for 41 to lead the Clips. But the Wolves now, a couple nasty ones in a row, but different circumstances where New Orleans on Friday night, they're up nearly 20 in the third quarter, find their way to an L there. And then yesterday, it was like they never got out of the starting blocks. Something to look at as we talked about Podcastable, by the way. You could hear from Chris Hine, who covers the Minnesota Timberwolves. He joined PA during the opening hour with a good breakdown, just kind of on the mood, the mentality of things right now. I played some audio about Rudy Gobert, frustrated about accountability and urgency and all of those things. Chris Hine, tremendous guest. But the debut of Ayo Dosunmu, who went 25 minutes off the bench, 4-11 shooting, but he did hit a few triples. Some good moments for him, a couple of takes. So appreciating him and his ascension as we'll get to see the Wolves again today hosting Atlanta. 2 more games between now and then the All-Star break, which many are believing is a good time for this team to take a breath and come back together.
Jimmy Knutson, King of the Rubes, sent some video of when, how do you say the name again? Ayo what?
Ayo Dosunmu, I believe.
Ayo Dosunmu. The King of the Rubes, sent some video of when Ayo came into the game for the first time. I mean, with the King of the Rubes, you would have thought it was either former Sixth Man of the Year Kevin McHale, Michael Cooper for the LA Lakers, a younger Lou Williams, or even younger Jordan Clarkson coming in off the bench. But he got a rousing ovation.
That's good.
And his defense is needed in the Covenant. Offense was the problem yesterday. Defense was the problem Friday against Nolens. Finchie's team yesterday failed to score more than 100 points, only for the second time this year. Atlanta put one of the more embarrassing losses on the Timberwolves earlier this year. I think it was New Year's Eve. And Atlanta, since trading Trae Young, they received Corey Kispert and C.J. McCollum from Washington, plus others. And this Jalen Johnson, I mean, Atlanta is engaged. All right, Atlanta was not engaged. Atlanta now is engaged as a team with a very, very bad record. However, They do, and Alexander Walker.
Nikhil, yeah.
Nikhil, thank you. I was going to call him Nicholas. Nikhil returns tonight, so it's going to be one of those bits where it's like, this is big for our dog. They didn't want him.
Yeah.
We took him. Making it sound like they got him off the street, even though he's really good and he's having a great season. This is a tricky. They're all tricky right now. When one game you're letting the Pelicans get close to 140, and then the next game you can't score 100.
Right.
So they're all tricky right now. For those who haven't seen Jalen Johnson play, MVP candidate. He's not going to win it, but MVP candidate. He's fantastic. So Wolves are 6.5-point favorites this evening. May God be with everybody.
Yeah, beat the Hawks, beat the Blazers, heading to the break. You got Dallas on the other side of it. Let's find our winning ways here. That is a truncated edition, News to Nord, brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park.
Vox to Vox conversation around the corner. Greg Papa, 49ers play-by-play voice, radio host on KNBR. He will chop up the Super Bowl and some NFC-related stuff with 9 to noon when we return to KFAN.